journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, folks, I'm showing the chart of Tesla here. This morning, in my usual warm-up that I send out on the video at around 7 o'clock New York time, I said that I had heard my alert go off in Tesla, that it had hit 425, and I had seen the previous close was at 366, so I said, whoa, this is going to be up quite a bit. I just want you to pay attention to the numbers that we talk about here. I know sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but they work more than just random, folks. Now look at the high today in Tesla. You notice on the right side over here, the 786 number of that whole move from the high down to the low ends at 425.35. Now I put this out before this had opened, so it hadn't even flashed that price yet. All I did was heard the beeper go off. The high of the day so far in Tesla was 425.70, 35 cents from where we thought the 786 was going to be. Well, that missed, so you can't count that as a winner. Anyway, this is where Mr. Musk, he bet it on Thursday, okay, have a big move on Friday, and then over the weekend, he decided that he should let them know that he had bought $1 billion worth of stock. And I'm sure he put it on credit. No, I'm just joking. Anyway, that's what we did with these numbers. Now, there's other numbers that we watch, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. And these are the ones that we like to pay, the most attention to, but sometimes, they're in a different thing. Let's get over here. I want to cover something here because we want to talk about the gold market. But this is a trade that we were doing for our folks on Friday. In the live trading, we were talking about this. It was happening right near the late in the day, but we were making a perfect 382 retracement of our low way back here in June to the exact tick. And of course, you got filled. You had about a point profit in it. And then today, look what's happened, folks. It's gapped up 5 cents. This is a big move. Now, if we look at this on a shorter term basis, you're going to see how big it really is. There you'll be able to see it. There was the buy, there was the move, and you can see where we are now. This is a really nice move. That tells you that this is probably a major bottom. You see how it made the lower low by just a tick, and that was exactly at the 382, and now it's starting to work pretty good. All right, now I wanted to cover a few other things. There's so many, you can see all the charts that I can cover today because there's just so much stuff going on. But let's take a look right now at what we're watching here in the gold market, because I mentioned this in the video early this morning when I sent it out, that it did not look, hold on, let me get this up here, get the hourly chart up. Then we'll move back to that other one. I said this did not look like it was going to be a major top here in the gold market because of the fact that, guess what, folks? This darn thing backed off only $30. It could only go to the 707. Okay, then it rallies up and spends, the whole day last night and today just hovering around the 50% retracement, and then the market explodes to the upside, taking out the old highs. There was our old high right back here at 37.15. Here's where we are right now. Now, all I'm going to do now is I'm going to go down to a smaller time frame just to prove a point. And this is what I try to do, is to drive. This was our early morning move, okay? Now, we were trying to buy it here. We didn't quite get bought because we were looking for this. There was an ABCD here, but I assumed that it was going to make this ABCD right down here at 67. Well, we only got 73, and then it took off, and look what happened. There's a big move up. Now, this is only a 4-minute chart, but this took a half an hour to complete that. And look where it stopped, folks. Pay close attention, because this is what's really exciting. That tells you it stopped exactly right there at 36.91, and then it went up to this level right here. We shattered the old highs. Okay, now let's just go through it again, just to show you that these things just don't happen by accident. This move here backed off about $10. Look at this one. What would this be if this were being an exact 382? And this one misses it by just a little bit. But this is why we want to be watching now, because if this completed and this stopped at the 382, that tells us that this thing is still very, very bullish and it wants to go higher. It's only made a higher high by $10 from the old high, so that's not really a breakaway of any kind. And remember, one of the things that we've done here over the past weeks is to show you all these different patterns that we have up here. This is the weekly, but you can see they start at 36.55 and go all the way up to this 3,700 level. So this is a major weekly pattern right up here at 36.55. Yes, I know we're $65 above it, but folks, when you're talking about something that's trading for 3,700, that's not very much, but that's what we're watching here. There's a possibility. And all we're doing now is keeping our eyes open, because we want to be able to, if we get into something, I wanted to show you this again. There was our buy point right here. That's right out from this morning. There was the 1.618 of this whole move right here. Okay, there was our move from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, down into Sunday. Okay, so if you take that whole range, multiply it by 1.618, it takes you to exactly, almost exact high of the day at 37.23. The high has been 37.24. Now that's pretty good. I know it's $4 away, but this tells you that you're in a move. But there's no reason to possibly, being short in here, because of the fact this 382 is no different than this one. If you sold that, that would have certainly been your first profit objective, because that was $1,000. So this is when you're dealing with these big contracts, this is what I try to do, is to get into a point where I can see whether it's going to be moving. Now, we've had some really good trades here the last few days. I want to bring this one up here in the soybean oil, because we had several targets being hit again today. We'll get this up here. There's where, remember, we bought this way back here. Hold on just a second here. Back in this area right here at that 382 right there is where we were buying it, if you'll remember. Okay, and then we had the run up. There was our first profit objective. And then today I pointed it out. I said, if you're still in this, you're going to get a second chance for another profit. And that's only because what we were doing is we were watching the range from what we had the other day. And where did it go? To exactly the 1.618 expansion right there at 32.92. And from there, it dropped $600. Now, this is the biggest break we've had in the last few days. You can see there's Fridays, there's Sundays, and this is our biggest break so far. So we want to see if this break is going to be really near a 382 again. So what we'll do is we'll go to an hourly chart so we can see more of it. And there's where we're looking at right now. This is that same pattern. And all we're going to do now is play devil's advocate and try to keep our position working in this, because you can see the ABCDs all the way up, okay? We're going to cover this when we get back, but I'm going to draw it in right now just to see how close it came.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Okay, folks, this is the bean oil that I was just pointing out. The 382 retracement hit it this morning, and that's why it's so very important. It's still bullish as long as it stays above this number right here. Now, those of you that were in the trading room that we had on Friday, one of the things that we were really looking for was to buy the wheat. And of course, the wheat missed us by 2 cents on the way down. And as you can see here, we were trying to buy it right there. You'll just see it right here. We were trying to buy it right there. Is where we were trying to buy it at 10. You can see the low here was supposed to be 08. We were shading it by a bit. But what I said was, look, if we miss this, try to buy it on a pullback. And look, there's your 382 pullback from that low right there. And that had $500, almost $500 in it, folks. Well, it still has $250 in it, so it's still acting okay. But now you have a new 382 number because you made a higher high, and so you have to go back and check that, and you'll see the next one, 382, is going to come down here at 22.5. So as long as it holds above 22.5, it's still going to look like it's okay. Now let me talk to you from a little chair of that's not the word I want to use. I want to set like a little fireside chat here about the market itself. Okay, now I've been looking for this market to top here for several weeks now. Especially since September the 1st. And now I want to come over here, and this is the Dow Jones, okay? And just to give you a rough idea, we're going to put the daily up because the Dow Jones shattered all the highs. We went into the problem is this is the old, just a minute, shucks. This is still the September. I wanted to show you that, and for some reason, this is wrong, folks, because it's the old September contract, not the new September contract. But you can see we did go up and make new highs up here at 46, 26. I think what was the high? 46,176 was the high. We're at 458 right now. Looking at this on a little smaller time frame, I'm just going to bring this to show you because this was Sunday night. You can see we were down quite a bit. The market rallied here early in the morning, and I'm just going to bring this up. I didn't do any of these trades, folks. I was watching the whole time. I've got a little story to tell you, but there was your 382 retracement here. There was your 50%. There was your ABCD leg, and now we're starting to move lower. The reason why I want to talk to you about this is because back in the 20s, actually 29, starting in August of 29, all the way through the middle of September, there was a gentleman in Massachusetts. His name was Roger Babson. He was about 20 years older than Gartley, and I believe he and Gartley were good friends because Babson was really heavily into Fibonacci and sacred geometry and stuff. Babson College is a liberal arts college. It only has like 4,000 students. It's like 60 grand. It's very, very prestigious, and they're very selective who they take. But they had a tremendous library of mathematics and stuff from Egypt and stuff that was involved in what Babson did. And Babson died in 1967. Gartley died in 1969. So they were in the time frame of when he would have been learning this stuff. And so Gartley had the absolute Bible of technical analysis stuff during that time. Nobody had what he had. That's why when he wrote the book, Profits in the Stock Market, he had all those patterns, all 75 of them in there that he categorized. Nobody else had done that. I mean, a few guys had tried. That was, just a lot of people were during that time, folks, but no one was, and he was not probably as famous as other, but he had all of the great information. And so when he sold his book that he printed in 1937, which was a 3-ring binder, he charged $1,500 for it, which was the cost of 3 Ford automobiles. Now, I happen to know that he sold 12 of those books. They were 3-ring binder books. I had one. It was given to me as a gift, and I regifted it to somebody else that did me a huge favor that wanted it as for collection. I was given it to me by Don Mack because I had done a favor for Don. And anyway, the reasoning for this is that Babson was ridiculed all during the top during August and early September and even mid-September. Before mid-September, what happened on, later in October. But anyway, and when the market did break, he got a little bit of a consolation that he did do this, and he made a lot of money off of it on the short side. I don't know when he got out, but he lived to be 1967. And folks, do you realize after the market was bottomed in 1932, on July the 8th, it topped on September 3rd of 29. Do you know how many years it took for that market to take out that high of September the 3rd of 29? It didn't take it out, folks, until 1965. 37 years it took to take that top out. 27 years to take that top out. Is that right? 29, 30, yeah. 37 years to take out that high. However, it did, and it went up 1,000 times because the Dow bottomed at 42 in 1932, and it's still, just topped recently. If this is the top at 46,000, may or may not be. That I don't know. That I don't really care. Let's just take a look at some of these other stocks that you folks asked me about here. And we'll move over, and you'll be able to see it right here. And there's where we are right now. This is Apple. See, Apple gapped up. It didn't take out the highs as of yet. It looked like it stopped right at the 786. Okay, it's still bullish. It's right in the middle of the range. You'd stop and think. You think with all this bullishness that it would be a lot stronger, but it's not that strong right now. Okay, I've already talked to you about Oracle, and I wanted to go in and talk to you here. I've already talked to you about the wheat. Now we need to talk here about the NASDAQ, because the NASDAQ shattered the old highs again, like it did today. There's where we are here. This is just the 8-minute. You can see how wild it is today. Look how much just from Friday. We go up, there was your old high. Okay, then you pulled off, and then you made another new high. And let's just use a little bit of old ABCD and see if it tells us anything. Your ABCD tells us you'd gone right about to there. And because of this big, strong move, you have to add this to 1.27. And so we'll just do that right now and take a quick look at it, and take 1.27, and you'll see it takes you It should have gone a little bit higher. Misses it by about 20 points, the big high. Here's where we are right now. Just looking at the futures, the S&P futures, hold on one second. I'm still looking at September, folks, because it takes me 2 days to get the data so that I can present it easily. Let me get this out here, tail vertical, so that we can see the thing unpork. But we did turn down just a few minutes ago. I see in the E-mini S&P, I'll get this up here. You'll see. And by turn down, I mean you had more than 3 or 4 down days, or 3 or 4 down points. There was a high supposed to come in there at 22. That's the big ABCD. And the high today was 23.50. So, wow, that's pretty close to 23, I guess, isn't it? Well, that one didn't work either. Anyway, now we started to back off a little bit. So that's what we're watching here, folks. So let's take a break here, and we'll be right back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey. Because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors. This portion of Trade What You See is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Okay, folks, this is the coffee market. Now, I do not trade the coffee market, but I act as a consultant for a coffee company, believe it or not. I don't make hardly any money on it, but when they ask me certain questions, I try to answer them the best I can. And today they sent this chart to me, of course, without any of the triangles. And they say, is there any reason why we should be hedging our crop of coffee right now, because we think it could go higher, but we're also very nervous. And so I drew this pattern out. This is known as oh, excuse me, folks. It's an expanding triangle pattern. It was featured in Buck Gartley's book. It was also brought out during the 1990s as a trading system for thousands of dollars by a gentleman, and it worked pretty good. You just don't see it very often, but that is it. What you're watching is in a market that makes a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 expanding triangle. Now, all we did is we added the numbers. You notice the first high was 1.12. The second high was 1.17. In other words, this was 1.12. This was 1.17. This was 1.414, the square root of 2, all coming here together at, guess what? The price of, what does it say there? 121.35. Okay, you know what the high was in coffee today, folks? 121.25, and now we're 5 cents under that. Okay, that tells us this may or may not be. But at that point, I said, look, if you buy puts here, if they get above 425, I said you're going to take a small loss in the puts. You don't have to worry about that. Or if you sell the futures, put your stop above 423. Well, now you could put the stop lower if you wanted to, but that's exactly what we were doing now. Because I was doing that and trying to take my mind off the stock market, my good friend, my good old stock market, all I did was I went down to a smaller time frame and I did the same thing. And I said, okay, now let's take a look at what else. There's our high that came in right here. And that was a butterfly pattern. You can see the ABCD right there. So we had verification. The market came down, rallied up to the 382, backed off, came into the 618, 618, 618, come all the way down here. It hasn't been above this level, so it has not violated any of this, and it's taken 3.5 hours to do that. So my suggestion to them was, if you see a trade above 420, cover your puts. You'll get out probably a small loss or maybe even a small profit, and wait another day. You don't have to be a home run. Don't try to do what I did. Well, I do it all the time. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So that's what I'm watching here today, watching this. And look at this on a smaller time frame. You see we do have another ABCD that could take us up to here. But if we get above there, then the amount of money that they have to risk is very small. There's a lot of weather-related stuff coming out of South America that made coffee have this huge jump that we've occurred here today. Because if you look at this, you see on the daily, this is one hell of a move in coffee. We moved 20 cents, and we moved 20 cents. Wow, that's a monster move, folks. I mean, you stop and think of that. We went from 400, 427. That's a 20% move in coffee in one day. Shut the front door. That's bigger than anything in here. So that's why you have to be extremely careful. But careful amounts to a dollar amount, and that's what we're looking at. The dollar amount now is very small. They're just made 418. Probably just made that little pattern we were just looking at. Let's just double check. Well, not yet. It's getting up there pretty close. All right, that's what I was watching in the coffee market. And I've already discussed what we're looking at. The same thing goes in the gold market. It can go a lot higher or it could stop right here. We don't know. What we're interested in is how much money do we have to find out whether we're right or wrong or not. It's not how much money you make, it's how much money you don't lose. And you're going to lose a lot, but you're going to make more than you lose. That's a hard thing for people to understand, but that's what you have to do, and that's what I try to do. Yeah, I had a losing trade today in the S&P, but I had a good trade in wheat. I had a good trade in cattle. I actually took a little bit out of the gold market, not very much, and also I had another one in the soybean oil. The soybean oil worked good. So all of those were working really nice, and it made more than what I did lose in the S&P, and so that's all I was doing. And I do that all the time, folks. So if you think I'm going to be right all the time, find somebody else, because that's not going to happen. As Tonto said to the Lone Ranger, Nebahachi, which means never happen in Cherokee Indian language. I don't know if he was a Cherokee Indian or not. All I know is Jay Silver Hughes was an actual Indian. All right, we've covered that. Now we got to get over to our good friend, the old crude oil market, because it is really trying to make a bottom. I talked about this last night as we looked at this hourly chart. I said we had this big move down. It shattered the 382 on the way up. It shattered the 382 on the way down. So I said, let's just give it a little more time to see what happens. I said, this is where we were here this morning. As you can see, this was real early in the morning, right? That's when I was looking at it. Just made that little bit of a pullback right here. I said, let's see how it holds that level. I didn't give a buy signal or anything. It wouldn't have been a bad one because, you've had higher highs in here. And you've had, you did have a lower, but didn't make a lower lows. You had a higher bottom here, a higher bottom here. That would have probably been the place to buy it. Let's move down to second guess myself again, put up a 13-minute. We'll probably see a nice little, clean these out a little bit here. Yeah, there it is right there. If we looked at it on a little time frame, there is the spot to look at it right there. That would have been a really nice little pullback. And setting right at, that looks like at about the 61 exactly. Yeah, there it is right there at the 61. And then it took off. Now we have some more information. Let's just try this to see if this technical BS BS I mean by Bureau of Statistics, folks. That's what I mean by that. As we move here, we had the low. What's our 382 going to be? Bada bing, bada boom right here at 20. It went 15 cents lower, and now it's up $200. So I have to say this is the 382 did not hold, but the 50% did. This distance, folks, is only $140 of oil, actual real cash money, from 63.20 to 63.06 is what we're watching here as we're looking at this here today. I have to check the old clock on the wall. I don't have the clock on the wall working like I should. Sorry, folks. I got a little bit of. Hold on. Oh my goodness. 1 minute. That's two lifetimes in Al's lifetime. So let's get up here. We had a question about Palantir. Hold on right there. It's been selling off, but boy, it came back pretty good. Son of a gun, it sure did. Wow. I haven't looked at this. Let's put the daily up to see where we are. This is John Jameson thinks in 10 years this will be the Tesla. Because John bought it down here at 35, and there's a pullback right here. We had the big move up, and boy, this is still acting bullish. My goodness, certainly is. Yeah. Well, we'll see here. Let's take a little break.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento. A pro's pro with over 50 years of experience, Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Okay, folks, now we're going to look at silver. Folks, look at this. Silver goes sideways for 5 days, can't even back off hardly anything at all. That's, it's less than $1. And look at making new highs today. We get up to 43. It's been the highest it's been. Let's look at the weekly because we've already gone above. I believe we're breaking above. Yes, we're breaking above the 61% retracement. Silver in August the 11th. In August of 2011, silver was $50, folks. We're only $7 away. Now, I know you might find this hard to believe, but maybe the monthly will do it for us. Yes, it will. There's the old high way back on the 11th. Okay, the high that we had back in in 1980. Okay, then it dropped for, remember, 20 years down to $12. But this high is as high as it's ever been because actually in 1980, the market, even though silver futures were limited up at $54 an ounce, the cash market was not trading higher than $40. I know that because I was in that cash market with Handy and Hardham, and what's the other company? I can't remember which was. Well, Handy and Hardham was the big one. Hecla Mining, and those were the ones that were doing the hedging against the gold against the silver, and it never traded above $40. That's why people said, "How come I can't get $54?" And there was no market for it unless you went into the futures market, and they made futures to go short the silver. You had to put up 200% margin, and you couldn't put a new position on. What is that going to tell you? Well, that's why the market broke. So if we ever get above this level right here, we could go probably to $100 an ounce, because if silver, if gold can go to 3,700 where we are right now, we could easily get to $100 because the old ratio was not too far off. Remember, we were 100 to 1 silver to gold just recently, and then you can see what's happened. Silver's really picked up the steam here. That's why, remember Jeff Hughes from Alpha Insights, he got extremely bullish just down here around 30. Well, here it is, 43. It's breaking out, and it is still going higher. I just looked at platinum just for a second here before I got back up here, and you'll be able to see as you look at it right here. There's the platinum. Look what it's done here, just going sideways and to up. I mean, it's actually going a little bit higher. Now, there was the 786, backed off a little bit, but it's still acting relatively good. So nothing to be. You don't have to be a like I say, you don't have to be a home run person to try to knock the ball out of the park. You take little bits and pieces. That's why when I'm looking at a top, I look at it in context of where would my maximum risk be if I'm wrong. And if that happens, I'm out of there. That's basically the bottom line that what I'm watching. These markets they're acting very, very friendly, folks. I mean, you can't even look at here's the stock. Look, there's the SM here's an ABCD coming here in the let's just see if it goes to a 382. We got an ABCD coming here right now in the Dow Jones as we're looking. Okay, we made a new low on the day. Then we rallied up. Now we pull back. Now we're making an ABCD. Just remember this is of the stocks. These are the triple digit ones. But let's just draw this pattern in and let's see if it works. All right, it doesn't always work, but we're going to find out. And that comes in right around 4,600. We'll call it what it is, which is 45.93. Now, if you sell it at 45.93, you're selling an ABCD in a market that is down for the day. Look at the ABCDs here, folks. If you don't think they work, come on, just give me a second. Watch. There's your first one. There's AB equals CD is right there. Then you have another one right behind it confirming the top. AB equals CD is right there. Okay, and now you got another ABCD right there. So out of the three, maybe the fourth one doesn't work, but you don't know what the fourth one's going to be. So that's all it is, folks. I'm just looking at the mathematics of the market. Not any smarter than that. And yep, I'm wrong on the top here, but when the bell rings, I'll tell you, when we come into round 12 of the heavyweight fight, I hope to be in that round because I will wait and wait and wait till I find something that is really low risk, which everything I do is low risk, and then I'll keep trying until I get it right. And I know I get some sympathy letters from you guys, and I love them, but please don't have any sympathy for me, folks. I've had a fabulous life. Better than, no, really. So believe me, it's been an e-coupon ride since I started doing this stuff back in, what was it, 59, it didn't count because I was only I was 20, and I didn't even know what a stock was. My grandfather's uncle, my grandfather's brother, gave me bought 200 shares of Elastic Stop Nut and went to 400. I made $200 and $400, and I bought myself a nice little 49 Mercury right out of, now here it was a sophomore in college. Okay, that's what we're watching here. Take a look at this as a possible trade. It's just a possible trade. Just like this one would have been a possible trade. Just like this one would have been a possible trade. Some of them work, some of them don't. But that's all we're looking at. This is powerful, folks. The fact that we got up here, we shattered a high in the stock market that I never thought could be shattered, but we did. That old high was at 45,800, and we went to 46,200. We shattered it by 400 points. Now we're below it by about 100 points right now. Is that 45 to 46? Yeah, not too much. A couple hundred, about 100 points. Not a big deal. So we're still near the high. It's not one of these deals where it's going to roll over today, most probably. Okay, those are the main ones that I wanted to cover. Now I wanted to cover the foreign currency because we had a profit in the foreign currency last night, and then the market rallied against us, and I pointed this out because it was happening. Okay, we did those trades on the way down. You'll remember this is where we were on Thursday. This is when the Fed came in. We covered the position here. We put it back at the 382, and we sold it and put it back here with our stop above here. Well, last night, you see, it looked like it was working pretty good, and once we went above here, cannot be in it anymore. So we would take in a 30 pip loss, $300 and some loss on this, but we made $1,200 on the way down. So you made $900 on the move down. And that's pretty good. I mean, the whole move down was only $1,500, so you got 60% of that. Now, as we're watching this little tiny pattern, you can see there is the big move up. Let's see if this was a 382. There's an ABCD. Let's just check and see. I didn't check because I was doing other things. So let's just look. And there's the crook. There it is right there, folks. Another ABCD right at the 382, 51. has $200 in it, and you know where we're going, don't you, folks? We're going higher. There's another A, B, C, D coming in up here. There's the limit minder right there to tell you that that's probably what you're going to hit. So let's just draw it in, and then we'll take a look at it from that level. But I need to move over here. I don't think I have enough time left. Let's just double check. 43 seconds, but I want to show you the U.S. dollar, folks, because this is controlling that gold market too, because as the dollar weakens, the gold strengthens, and we'll get the dollar index. There it is right there. Put it up, and you can see here we are smacking against the lows again, so this is where the game's being played. There's where we are. Hang on here, folks.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched The Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Okay, folks, this is the dollar index, and as you can see here, we're knocking on heaven's door right here at the 786 here. It may or may not hold, and you can see the old low right back here. My guess is it'll take it out by a little bit. Well, it already has. It did take out that low by just a little bit, hasn't gone anywhere. But if this can hold, that means silver and gold. Well, I don't know about silver because that's in a different realm, but gold could back off a little bit from this area. What am I talking about? It's $2, $3 off the high. get a life, Larry. Anyway, that's what I can see. Gold is still right here at the 720 level. You can see it right there. And I still think we're probably going to get above it because it's only backed off a little bit, and that really doesn't mean very much. That's just a short-term ABCD 1.618 expansion, but sometimes they turn out to be big ones, but I don't think this will be just because of where we're sitting here with the dollar, because if this dollar doesn't hold here, this means that the gold is going to get a lot stronger. Now, silver's moving up for reasons that somebody must really be short that silver, and they're just not giving him any break. It doesn't back off at all. Even when gold drops $6,000, you're lucky to get a $2,000 drop in the silver, 40 cents or something. It doesn't really drop very much. So it's another really, really strong sign. So those are the ones we're watching. I covered the bond market. I want to do it again right now. You can see this is our 60-minute. We got up to that level. Remember, folks, on the daily, we are banging up against some really strong support. But look at this, folks. It hasn't gone down very much. It's still right up here at this level right here. The notes are way above here. The notes are trading up around the 786. I'm not going to be able to get them up there, but that's what we're watching. So we're up in an area where any of this could change. We've taken out these highs. We've been here now for 1, 2, 3 days. Didn't back off. It backed off $1,000. That's all it did, but it's back up there again. So tells you it wants to probably still go a little bit higher. So live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless.